Good afternoon, Alana. How are you?
Good afternoon.
How are you today?
I kind of still have a sore throat. I had a sore throat all weekend.
Is this, do you think, the flu or allergies kicking in? Do you have seasonal allergies, anything of that sort?
No,
I'm sorry to hear about that. How it affects the preparation for the test? Because I know this is what you focused on at the moment.
I mean it's slowed us down because we both have like a cold, so we've been napping and
Makes sense. Yeah. Okay. Do you think? I mean, the level of comfortability depends on that. How comfortable would you feel to just maybe describe me something about yourself in terms of what are your interests and hobbies? Some small things. Maybe you're a great cook. Maybe you do embroidery or something like that, just for me to know. Because this is our fresh start. Either way, and I would like to know some more just about you in general.
I don't feel threatened by this, but at the same time I don't really feel what you would describe as comfortable. I would feel like
All right.
kind of dumb answering these questions, but I mean, if it's like a necessity and I'm pressed, then I guess I
Well,
could talk
not
about myself.
necessity, but I would like to just know some more general things about you because, starting off a session with talking about general things, it's just more probably comfortable and inviting so we can further on move to something that is more important to you. Or if you want to dedicate this time to some specific questions, if you had any stressors, other than still not feeling fully 100% self because you are sick, we can talk about that as well.
I mean, again, like I am sick. I don't know if that's the thing. It would take some amount of sympathy on your end to understand, especially if I don't go into like vivid details, which sometimes, again, like when I'm sick, I don't have the emotional capacity to do that, And the things that I've been describing to you, they would seem like immensely stressful to me because I experienced them. But I don't understand from your standpoint, from your level of social security, how you feel about any of this. And you were saying about like my hobbies, or what were you asking me before about what I like to do? What was?
Yeah. Just something, say when it's an average week, when everything is going as you planned, and no stressors, maybe you like to do something with your son.
This question makes me feel a little stupid, like I'm in like kindergarten, It's a little bit like patronizing because I feel like, all these other things that I've been talking about, they're so, like, much more important than that. Again, just like this question like undermines my faith in any these systems functions, when you ask me something like that, because
All right.
I mean I could tell you what I like to do. I like to read sometimes when I get a chance. I like to draw and watch
I'm
movies.
asking that
I like to listen
simply
to
because
music.
I would like to know you more, but I hear that you would be more interested in talking about
No,
things
because you know what? Everybody's interested in talking about themselves, but I could, to dig myself a hole just sitting here and talking about myself and how much I like myself. I feel like that's not my problem. I told you I do have hobbies. Like I like to draw. I like to read books. I like to listen to music. I've,
Okay.
yeah. So is there like a
Okay.
next step to this question?
No, no next step. It's just for me to try to know you more. Because again, when transitioning to a different therapist, as a reminder, you've already built a certain relationship, and now we kind of starting off fresh, so everything is new. And by far, I remember that you were stressed about the feeling threatened from your neighbors, from your people who are living in your building.
It's not
Probably
just
or not.
my neighbors. I told you again. Maybe this will be like third time's a charm, and I'm mentioning it again. And this time you'll like think, wow, this has escalated now because she keeps talking about it. But I've logged reports in with the FBI that I'm being harassed, and all my business is out there, and you know that's stressful, and whatever that implies to you, because again I don't have solid evidence apparently, because otherwise the police would act.
Can you walk me through when someone is reporting to FBI about things like this? What are the steps that you're going through, and how far you are in this right now? So you came to the police office, regular police office, reported something?
No, I went to the city, and I've reported on the internet, and I've talked to police on Jacob Javits Center also, so
And they filed your report, and
they did. They filed my report, and the first report I filed was a long time ago. So back then they had a different protocol, so they did give me a report number. And since then they've changed what they do, and they do not give you a report number any longer.
Okay,
when you
and
do
how
file.
long ago was that?
This was a very long time ago, like years ago, like 10 years ago. But I've been consistently polling them as well. And again, I feel uncomfortable talking about it to you because I don't know what, again, maybe, at some point she'll say, oh, I don't believe you and you have paranoia. And just in general, I don't know how to communicate with you that well at this point. So I don't know if you want to talk about my stressors or my hobbies. You lead, I'll follow. Cause
After you submitted the report and filed it, did you attempt to follow up? Is there like electronic way? Are they giving you a number?
I've called
Did
them numerous times. Sometimes they're pretty rude and they hang up on you.
Okay.
Sometimes they're decent and they just take whatever information you have to offer them. And
In this situation, as authorities are not acting, what is your strategy here? How are you feeling in terms of them not acting and not paying attention to what is going on?
I try to get by. Like, I need to function. We need to eat, right? And not shit. Like, we need to eat food. So that takes up a lot of my time. Again, I try to do right by my son. And what else can I say? It takes up most of my effort, most of my energies, Especially, again, I don't want follow-up questions because I see you're very active as a therapist. If I make a statement as to there's things like on the daily that could happen that are distracting me from functioning, and it's just very sad and very not healthful at all, so
But as of this week, between now, maybe in January, beginning of the year, any other stressors that are external, something new that was adding up to that already existent reasons?
I'm not sure what this question is. I'm not sure what you're asking me. What stressors that are...
Anything new since the beginning of the year that happened to you that adding up to the stress that you already have?
My food stamps got stolen.
Food stamps get stolen. Well, at least with food
Yeah.
stamps,
I have like a difficult time because again, like, you know, I'm not sure if like you're just being a therapist and you're trying to get by, or like what your goals and intentions are in this, you know, scheme.
all right. So
And-
I hear this pretty often that you doubt.
Because I did
what-
already mention that I have a cold, and that's real, right? Like, it's not something like, I mean, everything, you could question everything, but I do have a cold, and somebody did throw ketchup on my door, and I did have my food stamps stolen, you know? Whether or not you're sitting there questioning if I'm paranoid or not, those things did happen, you know, and I do have evidence of that much, you know? So
the fact that I'm asking something, you think I'm checking?
no, because you asked me like the same thing twice, and I feel like it's kind of like a I don't know, like, what are you getting out of this?
Well, if I'm asking the same thing twice, it could be simply because I don't, keep the records of the questions that I'm asking, and I'm trying just to kind of figure out what are you comfortable talking about, because to me, it's important to find common grounds to talk to client, as if you will continue not answering questions. So basically, what's
No,
the
but
goal?
what do you mean, like, common ground? Is common ground supposed to be comfortable for both of us, or?
Common ground is a topic that you would want to get deeper and discuss, because the goal of therapy is to provide space for the person to face some difficulties that they have in life and discuss it and strengthen their coping skills, strengthen their communicational skills, strengthen maybe their belief in self. So this is behavioral something, if that makes sense.
It makes sense, I guess, but it just feels like robotic. Like, these protocols are applicable to each and every patient, and it sort of takes the humanity out of the situation. Because
Okay, so then what are your expectations of therapy? As
I don't
general,
expect
or
any
your-
less. Like, I keep thinking, and I keep, hoping and asking for more from people, but I don't expect any more, or any less, because I've gotten so used to it again. And again, I feel like it is a system, and it's not a necessarily healthy one, and it's not a necessarily prosperous one, but I've gotten used to it, and I feel like half my coping skills that I've developed are to deal with this system. And everybody has protocols. Police have protocols, therapists have protocols,
Okay, so when you come into the session, was there something that you wanted to talk about today? Something specific?
My throat really like hurt, and it made me mad, because I feel like if I was eating more healthy, or if I didn't have these other stressors, that wouldn't have happened. And that can't keep happening, because I have a little kid. I don't want my kids to hurt. I don't want us to fall behind, and it makes me angry, and there's a lot of things that I won't, because I respect our relationship as therapist and patient, talk about now, but they do make me angry. And I've even mentioned it to police, that these things make me disturbed, angry, and sometimes I get very depressed about the way that people behave. I feel like people behave like mobs, and they're small-minded, like they have their very personal needs, and yet they represent like authority at large, and that's what's the word for it? Demoralizing.
By talking about the people, do you mean someone specifically?
Like, like if like the police perchance like ignore me or something, and they do like believe me, they just don't have enough evidence to work with as per protocols or some other sad nonsense like that. Or like sometimes even like I feel like, okay, well, this conversation, it's not really like, nobody's yelling, nobody's cursing, but I feel like now, and this is again because you are the authority in this scenario, you're the one to interpret this. I feel like it's being passive aggressive towards me, and there's very little I could do about it except acknowledge it to myself, so, and I don't, I don't like I try to like de-stress. I try to focus, like you said, on my throat really did hurt all weekend. I try to focus on like, what I like doing in my life, because I don't blame myself anymore for that, whereas maybe I used to be all like about responsibilities, but I've noticed that a lot of important things in life, it's things that you feel, and you have to be responsible towards how you feel, and like with your children and stuff, it's a natural relationship, because you could be obscenely like structured, and then it will probably not get you anywhere, because we are animals, and we have communications beyond words,
Sure.
but lately I feel like I've been dealing with this like bureaucracy, this legal system, so much that it's really like making me like dislike strangers to some degree also, but I do have friends that I do trust, so that's kind of
that's something important that you mentioned here. Is there a chance, are you at this mood or life circumstances that you will be able to have maybe a couple day getaway, maybe for Easter when it will be a federal holiday, maybe just to take a few days and go somewhere just to reset, just to change the scenery and spend some quality time with your friends? Would you be able for that?
I'm gonna go hang out with like a friend of mine now, but I also like, I'm mindful of the fact that these friends, they're like just like not like apt to help me either with my problems completely. It's just for I mentioned that I have friends just as a statement to the fact that I'm not like a complete like psychopath or something. I do talk to, like I have a friend that I talk to like almost daily, and then I have a friend that I talk to like every once in a while, and I do talk to strangers as well. It's just like when I meet people, it's like, I don't even want to get into it anymore, because I feel like I'm giving you like so much, I'm giving you so much to work with.
The weather's getting better, the summer season's coming up.
But my throat hurt, like the weather's, and again, like, I just focus on, like, with all my issues, not sounding paranoid, even to my friends that would never ever institutionalize me because they are awkward people themselves, you know. Just because, you know, it's difficult to communicate to someone what it's like living like Ilona, you know. And I know for a fact, and this also is like, you know, makes me somewhat angry, is like that if someone were to investigate, they would realize how, like, drastic this shit is. Like, this is some bullshit. And you know, people, again, they're just like very narrow-minded, and their concerns are, you know, mostly monetary, and it's kind of depressing like that. Because I think sometimes, I don't know, I'm not other people, but if the tables were turned and I had some sort of authority and I was the police, or I was an FBI agent or something like that, I'd take further into this and try to help somebody, you know. But sometimes I also think that these issues are so massive, and these people, they just have anxieties of their own. Like, they're really live in the same world that I do, and they're really scared to, like, not have a job or something like that.
And also, as you mentioned, it was some time ago, as this is not moving the way you want it to, I believe it causes you stress, because you would like this to go somewhere, to process that finally and have assistance from somebody.
Can I interrupt you right there and just say that I'm a very tough person? Really, my stress is just really physiological. It's just that, like, you know, all these issues are so difficult to prove to you, and I really don't have, like, I cannot, like, spend, like, I'm at my wit's end, like, with this bullshit, you know. That I like, I forgot where I was going with this. Where were you going?
I was going to ask you if you ever discussed the circle of control with your previous therapist.
No. It sounds like some, like, occultist thing. But
there are things that are under our control and things that we can affect in our life, such as our thoughts, the people that we're friends with, what we have for breakfast, and...
Can I interrupt you again? Don't you feel that in some situations, though, like, you should be coping, as in you should have your very best, like, skills at hand to deal with whatever comes at you, but you shouldn't let your guard down thinking that this is outside of my control now, so I'm just gonna put a big smile on my face and, you know, do whatever the heck I want. You know, this is not something you could put something on the back burner because you realize that you can't, you know, affect it right now. But for me to dismiss what's going on, that would be delusional. And the sad part is that, you know, conventional therapy and therapists would deem it the other way around, that I'm delusional because I think I have FBI issues. You know?
It's not about putting the smile on the face and move on with something. It's more me exploring, is there a chance to find something that will decrease the amount of stress and give you some
absolutely
space.
And I've been doing it. I've been trying to read, and I've been trying to like play piano once in a while, you know. And it does, and I hope every day that these things don't get taken away from me, because I feel like my life is in such chaos, you know, that whatever little I have, I'm trying to hold on to. But sometimes I'm like, oh, blow it, because, you know, this pressure is, like, really on. like, wow, these people just don't want to own up to anything. And I'm like, am I just like extending this torture by like being fake and sitting here with a pretense thinking that, oh, I can be like completely normal, functional, because that would be stupid. I don't even think these cops would deny me that would be stupid. It's just that also I know that people like you accept the fact that you probably feel like we're some sort of nether beings, like there's people in the city and they're poor and they didn't go to college and they have their kids young or whatever, and they should just like cope and abide and not ever like think of like emotional freedom, because this is what it comes down to. When somebody knows all your business, that's like not emotional freedom, because anytime you like say like simple things, like I'm gonna stick to like the better side of this situation, the non-violent scenarios. Anytime you go online, you buy something, there's your credit card. People know where you live. People know what's going on in your computer, on your phone.
Yeah, this is a deep thought.
I think so, and every time again I open my mouth, I'm like, well, where is her threshold for this? I really don't want her to say, oh, this is escalated, but then you keep like kind of guiding this conversation that way, because I'm not like superficial. I'm not I can't say like a million things to you, but wouldn't it like show in my face that I'm being fake?
All right. I hear right now I'm guiding this conversation to an ending because
it's been half an hour.
This call and moving on forward, but we will continue next week from this because it's actually an interesting topic about the information, and that actually everything is more obvious than we think it is. So I hope that your throat pain will not bother you next time I see you.
I hope so too, because sometimes it's like a lot. Too many cold viruses.
I believe it. All right. Thank you very much, Alona, and have a good week. Thank you.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.